You've heard the focus on Russia, Russia, Russia. President Trump, meanwhile, has been highlighting another threat on the global stage, and that's China. The president tweeting all of the fools that are so focused on looking only at Russia should start also looking in another direction, China. But in the end, if we're smart, tough, and well prepared, we will get along with everyone. That from the president. As a new Pentagon report warns, China's Air Force is likely training for potential strikes against the U.S. So is this another sign China is, in fact, our next biggest threat? Here with insight is one of our old friends, Morgan Ortagus, a former State Department press officer, former financial intel analyst for the Treasury Department. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. What do you think about this Pentagon report? How concerned should we be about the idea that the Chinese Air Force is preparing for strikes?
Well, I've been talking about China for quite a bit on your show. We did a week-long segment on Fox and Friends about China, what they're doing to expand militarily, economically, politically throughout the world. And I think this is something that all of our viewers, Ed, should be paying attention to. What China is trying to do is to build their military to be a near-peer competitor to the United States. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, we really haven't seen a near-peer competitor from a military perspective. So we have the Russians, which are once again being active, and you're seeing more of their submarines. And the Chinese, of course, which are building carriers, which are building submarines, which have a very active, land component as well. So I think it's something for us to watch. It's something for us to be careful to note, because, again, they are trying to increase in size to be that competitor to the U.S. Especially, we've heard a lot about the South China Sea, where the Chinese are building fake islands, propping up surveillance and other equipment there. And that really goes to the central part of what we're trying to do in Asia, which is freedom of seas, freedom of navigation.
Absolutely. And I want you to react directly to the report. Here's part of what the Defense Department said on Friday. Quote, over the last 3 years, the People's Liberation Army has rapidly expanded its overwater bomber operating areas, gaining experience in critical maritime regions and likely training for strikes, as we mentioned a moment ago, against the U.S. and allied targets. How should we be reacting from a military standpoint? And then I want to get into other components of this battle. But how should we be preparing at the Pentagon?
So I think it's important for us to continue our presence in Asia. The Chinese goal here with all of this is they want to have the sphere of influence over the Asian region. They want to control that area. Right now, we're there quite significantly. We have our allies in Taiwan, in Japan, in South Korea, Australia, others. And so the Chinese do not like that we're in their backyard. They don't like that we bring their carriers right near their shore. And so continuing to show our capability, continuing to do exercises there, and continuing to show that we're not ceding that region is important. You know, over the past probably 10 to 15 years, Ed, we've been really distracted in Iraq and Afghanistan for very good reasons. But what's happened is that the Chinese, as we've seen through this report, are expanding their capabilities dramatically. And it's not just with these conventional weapons. It's with AI weapons. It's with drones. It's with a lot of satellites, a lot of things that we don't see on a normal basis.
All right. Some outstanding insight, as always, from Morgan Ortagus. Appreciate you coming in. You can go to foxnews.com, by the way, right now. We've got another analyst out there saying that the president's policies could help us outpace China economically, and that's another part of this battle. So check it out at foxnews.com.